I think that some people, I'm not sure if it's a spiritual gift or if it's just wiring, but some people just seem to find faith easy. It comes naturally. I've never been like that. My propensity is toward doubt. Doubt of God, doubt of Bible, doubt of Jesus. And not because of anything God or Jesus has done, but it's the way I'm wired. It's like some people are born with certain gifts and others without. I don't have the gift of faith. As a child, my mind was asking questions that I wasn't getting good answers for. But I think more as a child, I defined faith in ways that are unrealistic to expect. As a wonderful, ongoing, thrilling experience that never ends, that was part of it. Also, I defined God in ways that make him unbelievable. Somehow I was really a legalist, and I thought that I could never be acceptable to God without perfect understanding, correctness, and perfect behavior, performance. And so part of it was a distorted view of God and bad theology, and then a distorted view of what faith really is. Then later, as I went to university and as I began reading, the kinds of things that challenged the faith as I understood it, and even challenged faith, period, and that congenital doubt was fed with, someone would call it an informed unbelief or questions that were bigger. And at first, my previous view of the Bible wouldn't allow for that latitude. I just didn't understand the background. And so, if you pulled one brick out of my little brick house, the whole thing came down. And so those kinds of doubts, as I had to reorient my approach to the backgrounds of the Bible. And then larger doubts, the big ones that plague, I'm sure, every thoughtful believer, and that is the problem of evil. Why does a loving God, who is all-powerful and all-knowing, not do anything about some of the horrible things going on in his world? Is he not loving? Or doesn't he know? Or is he powerless? Or does he exist, And those kinds of things I would wrestle with. See, at each level, I would come to new understandings of the faith and break some of the old stuff, but I would find new levels of doubt. And I remember in college, since I could speak well, I would go out on weekends and preach at these little churches where the people would fawn over me again. You're going to be Billy Graham someday, type thing. And which I loved that. And I loved the fried chicken they fed after church. But then I would drive home saying, I've not been honest with these people. I'm not sure I even believe all of this. And I felt trapped because I didn't want to hurt my wife and I didn't want to hurt my parents. And I kept thinking, I don't want to hurt the people that believe because of me. And I literally hit a depression. I don't know if I was clinically depressed or if I was spiritually depressed, but I became suicidal. I remember thinking sometimes driving down those mountain roads in the winter, I could hit that curve about 70 and over and down 500 feet into the riverbed, and people would think I just missed the road and I'd be out of this. And then I'd think, what would my wife do and my children do, and all this. That's how low I was. And so I remember thinking, before I do damage to everybody around me, I need to try some other approach. I remember praying that, God, if you're there, you will move me through this. And I remember reading the passage from 2 Peter 3:9. The Lord is not slack about his promises. He's long-suffering. He's not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. And for some reason, that passage was internalized. I remember thinking, I'm not going to give up on this, because if there's anything that I know about God, it's that he doesn't want me to be lost. He wants my life to have meaning. And somehow I first began to believe, yes, I did not have to perform well enough to receive God's love. and that I didn't have to be right about everything, and I didn't have to know the answers to all the questions. And I remember leaving that year of seminary with something a whole lot more valuable than a master's degree in theology under my belt. I felt that I was on a path that could lead more and more to faith. From then on, it's been an uneven journey, but in a journey more and more into a bigger God and a bigger Bible and a bigger faith that has a whole lot more color and mystery in it than black and white answers to superficial questions. And the journey still continues. And I like the journey better all the time.